that time Shastram tells, Shastrat Vedmi Janardanam. That point when logical reasoning cannot be deployed to understand, the only way to believe is through scriptures. You have to believe in it. Now you may say, I don't want to believe. That is again, Sanatana Dharma doesn't say that you should only believe, else your head will be chopped off and will be hung, you will be stabbed like what you do in New York, nothing will happen. If you believe, you believe. You don't want to believe, you don't believe. Sanatana Dharma is very, very bindas. It is your problem. You either believe you want to go to Moksham. Now you are born here. If you are happy with Punarapi Jananam, next Turkmenistan, Kazakhstan, Russia, Ukraine, do an entire circle. The world is going to go on. The beauty is, as we are born, we will never remember the previous Janma. That is the beauty. We don't even remember what happened yesterday. That is a different thing. Forget about the previous Janma. So Sanatana Dharma is very clear. Either you believe, do, else don't. That is why Sanatana Dharma has managed to sustain with its liberal nature all through these invasions. We don't insist. You follow, you follow. So now, Jivatma has to exit. Remember, Jivatma generally cannot travel on its own. Generally we come across in movies that light, that the light and not flickering and all will not happen. Jivatma needs a carrier to carry it. It needs a body. It is Sthula Dasha here, it becomes Sukshma Dasha next. So it's Sukshma Dasha, it has to exit through one of the Dwarams. This body is called Navadwara Pattinam, 9 gated city. Either it will exit through the nostrils, eyes, ears, mouth, through our place where we excrete, or reproductive cells, the organs through which it will exit. Naturally, if it has to exit. Before that, there is a Tristuna Kshobanam which happens. If you see a person who is naturally about to die, you may hear the churning sound within him. It's called Tristuna Kshobanam. So, that time the Jivatma will have to exit the body. As it exits, there is an excruciating pain that will be incurred by the body. Sir, you get back to the story, sir. Revision is a lot more easier. Now, the Jivatma has to exit. Now, there is a Nyayam called Takratu Nyayam. You have to note down all of this. There is a Takratu Nyayam. Takratu Nyayam tells, when the Jivatma exits, at that point in time, if the mind is operative, whatever Drishyam the Manas sees, the Jivatma will become that in the next Janma. You know, Jada Bharata Charitram in Bhagavatam, he was thinking of a deer. He became the deer. Now, so how do I reach Parabrahmam where I don't have to return to Janmam? Then Vedam says, Brahmavit apnoti param. You have to think of Parabrahmam as the repository of Swarupa Nirupaka Dharmam. He has got Satyatvam, Anandatvam, Anantatvam, Amalatvam, Jnanatvam. These are 5 gunas. It is called Swarupa Nirupaka Dharmam. Then there are secondary attributes called as Nirupita Swarupa Viseshanam. Saulabhyam, Saushilyam, Mardavam, Arjavam. These are all secondary attributes. You have to think the Lord in 2 layers. So Vedam says and Vedanta says, when you imagine the Brahman this way and think of him in that last moment, then you will get moksha. Now you tell me practically. Suppose, God forbid, we are in the, nothing should, I'm just giving an example, we are in the ICU. Vitals are running this side. Toin, toin, that Sahasra Sirsa, Purusha, Sahasraksha, Sahasrapad. You see all those vitals there. The doctor is coming, nurse is coming. I'm just looking at the nurse and seeing this. At that point in time, I have to think of Swarupa Nirupaka Dharma. Nirupita Swarupa Viseshanam. When we are hale and healthy, suffering from good health itself, we are not thinking. So, what do? That is when Sharanagati comes into picture. For Bhakti Yoga, Krishna tells in Gita, think of me when the Jivatma exits, because it is Bhakti Yoga's criteria. For Sharanagati, when you are hale and healthy, if you think of the Lord, in the last minute you don't have to. Now sir, you tell us more about Sharanagati. Now, but you have to perform Sharanagati. If you fail to seize that opportunity in this birth, we don't know next birth whether we will be born to be thinking about this philosophy. Right? So, Ramanuja Sishya Kuresha's son Parashara Bhatta was about 7 or 8 years old. The father was a very, very learned person. But he did not want to teach his very own son. Remember, your children will never learn from you. You may want to become their teacher, but they'll say, what will my father and mother know? Generally, children think that their father and mother know less. So only the other person will be able to teach well. So this father thought, let my son do Sharanagati, learn the artham of these 3 rahasyas from my classmate Embar. Embar was in next house. Next house means literally next house, like townhouse it is. Okay. Because here if they say I am in the next place, it means 40 miles. I have to think twice before going to people's house. So everything is 40 miles, 90 miles, 100 miles. So next door means next door. Literally this is 301, that is 302. So the boy was about to leave the house. The father says, okay, go to the next house. Even before he could get out of the house, the boy was called by the father. He said, come here. I will teach you those mantras, and he taught him the mantras and said, do Sharanagati. The boy did whatever little he knew, he did. Now the other students were perplexed. They went and asked Kuresha, you wanted your son to learn under Embar. You had made a decision. The boy was leaving the house. Why did you call him suddenly? The father said, see, before he goes to that house on the way, 302 to 301, if my son happens to die, he will miss this opportunity of Sharanagati and he may not get moksha. So I taught him. So life is so uncertain. Don't say, okay, 8 months later I'm planning to do. How will know tomorrow whether you live or not? That is why Vibhishana said, Nivedayata mam kshipram. Go immediately. That word kshipram is very important. For that I gave this 15 minutes talk. Nivedayatamam kshipram vibhishanam upasthitam sarvaloka sharanyaya raghavaya mahatmane. Now, how does Sharanagati get imbibed in Vibhishana Sharanagati? I told you there are 5 essential characteristics of performing Sharanagati. Anukulyasya sankalpam, pratikulyasya varjanam, rakshishyati iti vishwasaha, goptritva varanam, karpanyam. 5 criteria. 1. Anukulyasya sankalpam. Vow to do what the Lord has told you to do. Anukula sankalpam, anukulyasya sankalpam. What was anukula sankalpam? Vibhishana did not exit Lanka just like that. He advised his brother on the path of dharma, which the Lord likes. So he did what the Lord liked. Anukulyasya sankalpam. Second, pratikulyasya varjanam. See, for our path to self-realization and then realization of Paramatma, Jivatma Sakshatkaram and Paramatma Sakshatkaram, I don't know how many of you will agree or feel bad. The truth is, our own relatives will be the biggest obstacle. You don't have to become immediately a sannyasi. What it means is, suppose, imagine you want to study Gita today, first chapter, and go deep into it. Your daughter may call and say, take care of my child. Right? Your realization, this is called Anukula Shatru. They are with you as relatives, but they are actually Shatrus in nature. You may want to get into the 16th chapter of Gita to understand Devasura Vibhaga Yogam. Who is a Deva, who is an Asura? please make one cup of tea. Somebody will ask. So, he is the Asura Vibhaga Yogam. Deva Asura Vibhaga Yogam. So sadly, our own families will become a big deterrent in our own path to Sakshatkar. That is why in those days, many of them took up to sannyasa. Right? So they will leave and go somewhere and then they will sit Vanaprastham sannyasam. Now where can we go? Where there is no vanam, if there is vanam, we don't know how to be a sannyasi. We cannot live without the heater, we cannot live without the cooler, we need a dishwasher, everything we need. All that can be, we cannot take the dishwasher to the forest. Right? So he left his family. He completely concentrated on Paramatma Sakshatkaram. Pratikulyasya Varjanam. He did not do what was ordained not to be done. You have to do what you are asked to do. You should refrain from what you should not be doing. You are getting my point? So, you see, both, there are 10 things which you have to do. 10 things Shastra tells don't do. We may do the opposite. Vedanta Deshika says, Akrityanam Chakaranam, Krityanam Varjanam. So, I may end up doing what Shastra tells don't do. I may end up not doing what Shastra tells do. Both. Then what is the third anga? Rakshishyati iti Vishwasaha. Confidence. Vishwasam is a beautiful word. See, when Vibhishana left Lanka, at that point in time, Rama did not have a great army. He did not know how to come to Lanka. He did not have the best of the ammunition with him. Nothing yet. But Vibhishana goes with the confidence that he will give asylum to me. That is Vishwasa. Third, Karpanyam and Goptrutva Varanam. I don't have any other person. See, when you take the help of some person, if you want that person to really help you, you have to go tell, see, I know that if at all there is someone who can help, it is only you. That is one easy way of asking help. See, I have got 3 other people who can do a better job. That's okay, I've just come to you. That person will say, I won't do. Okay, so that one. Next, Karpanyam. You have no other means. You cannot go tell the Lord, see, I can do Panchamagni Yoga. I can do Nachiketa Agni Yoga. Paramapurusha Vidya. Well, Sharanagati is just one. One person came to SSVT and said, Sharanagati is okay, let me try. Let me give it a try. Try and all you cannot do in Sharanagati. Then that mode will not work. I have no other means. I have nobody else. I will do what you desire. I will refrain from what you ask me not to do. And I have complete confidence in you. Vibhishana did this. Then when he did Nivedayatamam Kshipram, he said, okay, I will. Please go tell Rama. Now comes the most important of all. While you do Sharanagati, when you intend doing Sharanagati, there will be hundreds of obstacles Shastram tells. It tells, Shruyate kila govinde bhakti mudvahatam drinam samsaranyunata dhitaha tridashaha paripanthinaha. Shastram tells, this is a Vishnu Dharma shlokam. If you sit to think about Govinda through Sahasranamam, surely you will have 3 people ringing on your phone. Because Shastram tells, if you have to think, immediately karma will stop. Karma wants you to be born again and again. It will do everything possible to stop you from thinking of the Lord. This is what karma is. You have to win over every obstacle. Now, Sugriva, after listening to Vibhishana, goes to Rama. Rama is seated. Lakshmana is standing. Rama, I have to tell you one important news. Rama said, what, Sugriva? Please tell me immediately. What is it? You know, that man from that man from Lanka has come. Who? He has come. You know what Rama thought? Ravana has come. And he got happy. He thought, why should I fight with him? Even now, if he gives back Sita, I will shake hands with him. Take one good selfie. I will tag him on all social media. I will do like this. And I will send that picture. Rama was a very practical. Why should I waste my army's efforts in fighting? If he has come by himself on his own accord, let me finish the yuddham and go. He has come. Sugriva, why is this man getting so excited? That Ravana's brother. Then Rama got a bit sad. Oh, Ravana's brother, Vibhishana, okay. Why has he come? So, that time, Sugriva tells, to do Sharanagati, it seems at your feet. Look at the tone and tenor. He wants to surrender and seek asylum at your feet. That is why he has come. Rama, is it? Okay, what did you tell? I asked him to wait. Rama withered away like a flower that sees the first frost of the winter. When a person has come seeking asylum, see, when you have to ask somebody's help, trust me, simple help, not Atma Samarpanam, simple help, you want water. First thing you'll feel a bit shy. Because to ask somebody's help, could you please get me, I'm sorry to trouble you. First of all, you're troubling them. But the disclaimer you make is, I'm sorry, I'm troubling you. So that is the first shyness, there'll be a coyness. So that feeling will be there. So when you have to openly ask that I'm falling at your feet, look at the amount of coyness and shyness that you have to shed. That you have to shed that vetkam. So Vibhishana is coming and asking, please tell Rama urgently that I'm seeking asylum. Sugriva asked him to wait. Rama withers away. Shouldn't you have brought him? Here was his thought, but he didn't open his mouth. He's in a coalition government. And Sugriva, when you are in power sharing, you have to be very careful. That is why governments which come with full majority can do better for the country than coalition. You have to listen to 10 other people and all will be Vanara Sainyam there. So, Rama now tells, what is the big question in them? Whether to accept the citizen of Lanka called Vibhishana into their fold or not. That is a $1 million question. Suhridartham krishreshu yuktam buddhimata sada samarthenopasanteshtum shasvatim bhutimicchata. Rama tells, this is the quality of a wonderful speaker and a leader. You know what he says? I value all of you, my dear friends. He looks at the monkeys. I value all of you. Your opinions matter a lot to me. I wish to understand what are your opinions. The monkeys were excited. Nobody has given them so much of respect. Nobody has given. Now when you're given so much of respect, when the mic comes, you will start speaking. What am I doing now? The monkey said, Rama, you are very intelligent. You have traveled so many places. It seems you have passed your CFA charter. You know everything. Ajñātam nāsti me kinchit trushu lokeshu Raghava. Raghava, you are so well known in the world. You know, wherever I send your photo, people say they know you. You're so well known. You're so well read, but you're still asking us. Because you're asking us, we are going to express our opinion. They could have still said, we'll keep quiet. That is the problem when you give the mic. Angada said, Angada is the youngest. He wanted to give young India one chance. Angada, the son of Wali, stands up. See, first of all, Parikshartham, he says, we have to give one entrance exam to Vibhishana. We'll give him about 450 questions, 4 categories, OMR sheet. He has to mark the answers. Then we will check. If he clears the exam, we will give him asylum. Rama thought, see, somebody comes to your house. They say, I'm very thirsty, get me water. See, I'll give you water, first answer these questions. By the time you ask those questions and the person answers, he will die out of thirst. He would have died by then. See, I don't take it in the wrong sense. I used to have a similar experience when I go to one of your coffee shops in the airport. After having lifted those 2 suitcases, carrying it 2 floors, then walking all the distance in the airport, I will go to Starbucks and ask for one chai. Do you want it with milk, without milk? With sugar, without sugar? With cinnamon, without cinnamon? By the time I answer, my Jivatma would have left. And the product also will not be that great. So, when someone asks help, so Angada said we have to give him an entrance exam. Shatroho sakashat sampraptaha savarya taryake bacha vishwasaniya sahasana kartabhyo vibhishanaha. He has asked the youngest in the crowd called Angada. Now he asks the oldest one. Who is he? Jambavan. Hey Jambavan, you tell me. Jambavan tells. See, he has come to the wrong place at the wrong time. If at all he had to seek surrender, he should have come while we were in Kishkinda or Ayodhya. Now he has realized that we may have power and he has come. Wrong time. While we were making some preparations what to do, he has come suddenly. So he says, Badhvaraivacha papacha rakshasendra vibhishanaha adeshakale sampraptaha sarvatha shankyatamaham. He has come at the wrong place, wrong time. Then Rama asks, Sugriva, you tell me what is your opinion. Sugriva tells, see Rama, you should not trust this man who has deserted his own brother and come. Rama said, wait. The pot is calling the kettle black. You left your brother. He didn't say this. At times, your smirk, the way you look at a person is enough if the person is able to comprehend sarcasm. Phew. The food was very bad. So you should give them. Apdiya. Nammatta vidava. But you should tell that in a very, is that so? The way you say, Parvai Bundre Podume, you should learn Natya Shastram for that. So, but Rama said, Sugriva, you have a point. That is Rama. Samaya Nikita Gumataladen Hare Ramachandra Raghukulesha Mrudu Subhasha Sesha Shayana Varanaji Sodaraja Viraj Durakaraja Raja Nudani Ramaya Varana Sarasi Yuga Kalasha. He knows what to talk, how to react. So he said, you have a point. Then, who is the main person whose opinion is to be sought? Hanuman. He is the first, he is the one who has travelled to Lanka. All these people have not travelled. He has met Vibhishana before. But Hanuman doesn't talk. Why? In Tamil there is a saying, Adakkam Amararul Uikkum. Great people don't talk. Adangamai Arirul Uitthuvudum. Great people, they won't talk. You'll have to wait for those two precious words that they have to utter. That is what great speakers are. So Hanuman was seated somewhere in the corner of the room. He was doing bhajana. Bhajana seyave manasa parama bhakti to Rama bhajana seyave Vasudevayani veddalinarido vari unigana vechi Vasudeva Deva. He was completely magna in his own world. That is the Sharanagata Lakshana. Even if you have a party at home and if your mind is completely in the Lord, your mind will be completely in conversation with the Lord. You will not be bothered about what people are talking. They'll come and say, I'm leaving. Okay, leave. Your mind will be, Hanuman was in his own world. He was a part of them but was different from them. That is how bhakti should be. People say, I have to go to Himalayas. Where will we go to Himalayas? Wherever you are, yakashiti na sakashiti bhuvisa yodhyeti nadhyasyate sa avantiti kalmashad avadisa kamchiti nodanchati dhatte sa madhuretti notta madhuram nanyapi manyapuri yavai kuntha katha rasamrita bhujam rocheta nocheta says Vedanta Deshika. You may want to go to Ayodhya, Kashi, Avantika, Ujjaini, Kanchi. But remember, all these 7 cities are nowhere else. Wherever you sit and recite the glories of the Lord, that becomes Kashi, that becomes Ayodhya. Saketa nagare nivasantam. Saketapuri is not in Uttar Pradesh main road, Faisalabad district. It is here. So that place will turn into Madhura the moment you say Krishna Nam. Now, Hanuman did not open his mouth. Now, Rama tells, Hanuman! Hanuman comes. See Hanuman, all of them have expressed their opinion. I value and trust their opinion, but you are the one who can give me first-hand information. You tell me what you feel about Vibhishana, whether to accept him into our fold or not. Hanuman tells Rama, amongst the eloquent speakers that I have known in this world, you are the best. When you have spoken, what am I? I am an amateur in public speaking. Can I speak before the king of public speaking? Nabhavantam matisreshtham samartham vadadavaram atishayaitum shakto brihaspatirapi bruvan. See, I am not speaking here to disgrace anyone. All their points may be valid. I am telling you what I felt. You asked my opinion, I am going to tell you. First, Rama, I can never say Vibhishana is bad. Some of them may have said that's their opinion. I cannot say he's bad. Why? When everybody was wanting to get me killed, he alone stood up and said that Shastram tells that a foreign person from another country cannot be killed. He can be punished. The only one who had the courage to speak about Dharma Shastram before others. See Rama, do we have the means to go to Lanka now? Do we have boats? Do we have a bridge? Nothing we have got with us. We are actually in a weaker position now. Despite knowing that we are in a weaker position, a man tells that what my brother has done is bad. I absolutely abhor what my brother has done. He openly says, which means he has not come for any treasure that is with us. You are without Ayodhya. Sugriva is away from Kishkinda. What wealth do we have with us? So he has not come seeking wealth. He has come only for Dharma. I can corroborate that thought because he spoke about Dharma at that point in time. See, some people tell whether he has come at the right time. Rama, you tell me. If a person is thirsty, comes to your house. Oh, we are asking for water at the wrong time. It is 10:45 p.m. will you say? To give water, is there something called the right time or the wrong time? Whatever time he surrenders is a good time. Rama, I personally feel that this man is a good man and he should be given asylum. There was complete deafening silence in that boardroom. Because the remaining people all said in unison, this man should not be given, he is bad, he is this, he is that. Hanuman tells, he is a good man, he should be given asylum. Now Rama is the decision maker. This is an apt scenario for a person who is doing his master's in business administration. Right? There are many case studies that come into picture if a person has to learn the nuances of management, managerial abilities. This is an apt scenario. What will we do? I have taught management at a business school. So there will be many formulas in decision making as well. N is equal to the number of variables there. N into n minus 1 power. All this will be there. See, judgment is never formula based. Judiciary is never formula based. It's not 1 plus 1 which is 2. You have to listen to both sides and see Shastram. I will tell you something. In Bharata Desham, I have no rights to comment upon any judiciary. I am just telling you my thoughts. At one point in time between 1920, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70s, even till 80s, the judges who rose ranks in the magistrate courts, the high courts, the Supreme Court were mostly people who had studied Shastram as well. I don't know how many of you are aware, in the ancient Bharatam, at least in the 19th, 18th century, in the traditional villages, there used to be a street called Vakil Teru. Not engineer Teru, auditor Teru, Vakil Teru, lawyer street. Because if you learn Shastram and then take up to law, your decision making will be world class. Because you will come across every scenario in our Itihasam and Puranam. What judgment they have taken, whether it is right or wrong, you will know. See, judgment is not about studying law alone. If you have children who are lawyers, potential lawyers, to be lawyers, tell them. Just tell them whether it is there in their hands. I told you Sanatana Dharma is very open. If they want to follow, let them. Else, no problem. If they have the time, the patience and the knowledge and the ears to listen and understand, they should listen to Ramayana and Bharata. It will throw a sea of opportunities to tell what decision making is. Now Rama is a decision maker. He could have said, I completely endorse Hanuman. All of you, thanks for your opinion. Anyways though, thank you so much. We conclude, he could have said. He didn't do that. He says, he starts giving his own lecture. Now I am going to give one. Rama says, had he been bad, B-A-D, bad, would he have the intent to even join us? Had he been bad, we have all gathered with such noble thoughts. Would a person of that bad caliber be able to join us? Which means he is not bad. But Sugriva, even if he were bad, I don't think it is in my nature to refuse a person because he is bad. He gives that. Mitra bhavena sampraptam. He is not mitra. Mitra bhavena. He has come with the, oh hello, how are you? See, when, these tennis, all these games world players play, right? You have seen a good gesture at the end. Whoever loses, they will come and shake hands with the person who has won. Honestly, you tell me, is the person shaking hands with the great noble thought, he has won, I'm so thankful to God that all my prayers have fructified, this person has won. This person has won. That is Mitra Bhavam. Congratulations. When you say that congratulations, Agni comes out. You can see the smoke if you have those. If you're wearing an invisibility cloak, you can see it. Mitra bhavena sampraptam. Even if the person comes with that intent, Mitra bhavena sampraptam natyajeyam. I will not abandon that person. Then he says, Sugriva, you made a very good point that he has deserted his brother and come at this opportune time. I would like to tell you one thing, Sugriva. Do you think all brothers in this world are like my brother Bharata? See, nasarve bhratarastata bhavanti bharatopamaha. My brother Bharata is like the best. I know nobody can match him. But don't expect every brother in this world to be like Bharata. Who's standing next to him? Lakshmana. How Lakshmana would have felt? 14 years I have been serving this man, washing utensils, washing his clothes, ironing his clothes, cutting vegetables, doing the dishes. And he's calling that Bharata's name. Correct? We would have, if he had said Nasarve Bhratarastata Bhavanti Lakshmanopama, Lakshmana would have felt okay, yes. Right? So Rama's attachment to Bharata, even in his absence, shows how much he loved Bharata. He is reminded. What does it also mean? See, you and your brother Vali were not like me and my brother Bharata. You won't know what Bhratritvam is. So keep. Na sarve bhratarastata bhavanti bharatopamaha. Well, some of you felt, some monkeys felt, he has come to divide and rule us. He's like Swami Mountbatten. He will draw one line and say, divide and rule. Hello, people. Hoi polloi. Listen to me, Rama says. Do you feel I am so incapable when a person comes, divides us, I will become weak and I will not be able to win? Remember, I don't need any of you to come along with me to Lanka. I want to bring some achievements to your CV. To your profile curriculum vitae, you can say I fought the war at Lanka. For me, I don't need your help. Angulya grenatan hanyan icchan hariganeshwara. Oh, you monkey, know me. I can use my fingertips, nails to dry up the oceanic waters and walk all of you to Lanka. We won't need waters, no swimming. Then you can see the ocean bed. Titanic jewelry will all be there. We can just walk, whatever you want you can pick. We can just walk over to Lanka. I can do that. The commentator asks, for a moment, Rama forgot that he was a human. He mentioned about his nails because he was reminded of Narasimha avatar. Because generally Kshatriyas should not use nails or teeth. Biting, scratching, all this Kshatriyas should not do. They should fight royally. When Rama was a Kshatriya, how did he mention? He was suddenly reminded of Narasimha avatar. Ankulya Grena, then he bit his tongue. Wrong dialogue. Wait, then he managed. He said, I can win over. Then he says, Sugriva, I will tell you one story. Sugriva tada aram chutar. Story, what was all this now? This is just introduction. He said, once there was a hunter. You have to listen to this episode very carefully. It's called Kandugatha in Ramayana. There was a hunter. He went out hunting in the afternoon. There was a male bird and a female bird. He killed the female bird. He shot an arrow at the female bird. The female bird just tumbled down. He took the carcass of the fallen, dead female bird, took it home. And his wife took away all the feathers, used the flesh, and she made some more kutu. I don't know, there's a dish called more kutu. You have to grind all of that, take, season it with this. More kutu. Then after this he comes, because the wife tells, tomorrow, see, whenever we eat, what is the next worry? Tomorrow what we will eat? This is the Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam. That is how life is. We would have just finished cooking and we would want to eat. Ratri kenne? So this hunter's wife said, what will we do for night? He said, okay, I will go back. By the time he left, it was evening, around 6:30. So he went back to the same tree. Listen to the story very carefully. Rama says, he went back to that tree, the same tree. It was getting very cold. Somehow it turned very cold. Some people were telling it looks like fall morning in the last 2 days. Right? Very cold. So he sat under the shade of the tree. It was getting very chilly. That time, there were some dry twigs and leaves. He got them together and he had to light the fire so that he gets some heat. It gives him solace in the chilly winds. He stood there, he sat next to it and he was experiencing. Now after some time, 8 p.m. he couldn't go because it was getting so cold. He thought if he walks, he'll feel the chilly winds more. At that point in time, he was getting hungry as well. Where will he go? There is no cafeteria. What will he do? He was hungry. The male bird which had lost its female counterpart to this man's hunting expedition was witnessing this hunter's hunger. The bird felt, after all, he has come to my tree, my house, he's my guest. I should be serving him food. So it volunteered and fell into the burning fire. So that, I don't know whether you have tried something, it's a traditional dish. If you are a non-Tamilian, I'll explain the dish later. It's called ashadu. You have to take a huge brinjal and burn it on the stove. Then the first layer will come out. Then you squash it, add tamarind paste. It's called ashadu. The other meaning for ashadu is not clever. That's a different thing. So it's called ashadu. So this bird got burnt, and so this hunter was supposed to consume that. Rama said, "This is what I wanted to tell you, Sugriva." Sugriva, what is this? Suddenly hunter comes, he kills one bird. This bird volunteers itself. You are selling, this is what you've understood. I am a person who has given arrears exam. I can't understand sarcasm, not straight statement itself. Forget sarcasm. So you explain to me, Rama said. The hunter who came in the afternoon was none but Ravana. The male bird was me, the female bird was Sita. In the story I had mentioned, the hunter killed Sita. Here Ravana has not killed Sita, he has just kidnapped Sita. There, the hunted bird was consumed. Here Sita has just been kidnapped. In the story, the hunter who killed the female bird was the same hunter who came in the night. Here, it is not Ravana who has abducted Sita who has come seeking asylum. His brother Vibhishana has come. There, the bird fell of its own choice into the fire to be hospitable to the hunter who had killed his wife. Here, this Vibhishana is opening his mouth and saying, please give me asylum. And if I today, Sugriva, refuse to give him asylum, tomorrow people will say it is better to worship the bird and not Rama because it knows Sharanagati and Rama doesn't. So for this sake, to save my honor, my self-respect, I have to give asylum to Vibhishana. Second story. Sugriva. Not done. Second story. I will not leave you, Sugriva, just like that. There was a tiger. It looks like Panchatantra stories. Right? There was a tiger. This tiger started chasing a Brahmana. I don't know, the Brahmana must have misbehaved with the tiger or something. The tiger started chasing the Brahmana. The Brahmana ran and panting for breath, he climbed atop a tree and sat on its branch because he believed that the tiger may not be able to climb. And as he was panting for breath, he looked left, there was a huge monkey. Below tiger, here monkey. The monkey started walking on the branch and coming closer to him, and he couldn't stand, he didn't know what to do next. He said, are you going to push me down, you monkey? You have come to my house. I have come to shake hands with you. Very good. Brahmana had just finished his lunch. Like us. So he said, I may fall asleep. If I fall asleep, you should not fall asleep. You should check whether the tiger is coming. When you are falling asleep, I will take care. When he fell asleep, the monkey did its job dutifully. When the monkey slept, the tiger said, Brahmana, push that monkey. What would the human have done? The most ungrateful of all creatures. He pushed that monkey. The monkey, while falling down, knew what would have transpired. It knew humans well. So as the monkey fell on the ground, the tiger came running. Brahmana thought, thank God it will eat the monkey. But it did not eat the monkey. It said, murmured something in its ears, and the monkey started climbing the tree. Now the Brahmana had the shock of his life. Now the monkey will come and push him. As the monkey came again, are you going to push me? No. You have come to my tree. I will always give you asylum. Then what did the tiger tell you? It said go atop and push the Brahmana. But why are you not doing it? Because you have come to my tree. But how did the tiger leave you? I said I will push. Why did you tell? Then only the tiger will leave me. So what does this episode tell you, Sugriva? Sugriva again did not understand. See, it is this monkey which is one of your ancestors which have been told gave asylum to that Brahmana despite him committing a mistake. Here has Vibhishana done any mistake against you? Then why are you as a monkey against him? Second point he said. Third point. Then he says, there was a Chakravarti called Shibi in my ancestors. Once while a hawk was chasing a pigeon away, the pigeon came and sought asylum at Shibi. And Shibi said, hawk, don't worry, pigeon has sought asylum. How much flesh you want, I will give it from my thigh. He cut his thigh and gave the equivalent amount of flesh. See, this is what I have been told time and again by my parents, that we belong to Shivi Chakravarti's kulam who gave flesh for the bird. Thereby my parents implied that Shivi Chakravarti through his material body may have departed, but his kirti, his fame is still everlasting. Today, Sugriva, if I refuse to give asylum to Vibhishana, Shibi Chakravarti will die today. I cannot bring this blot to my legacy and ancestors. Neither should you do. The monkeys were silent. They had never heard Rama give such a big upanyasam. Yannada, ivar pesita porare. 5 மணி ஆயிடுச்சேடா. You should have finished, wrapped up by now. That is when Rama said, you said Vibhishana is bad. He doesn't deserve asylum. You said Vibhishana is good. He deserves to be given asylum. I conclude, even if Vibhishana is bad, I will give him asylum. Trust me, Sugriva, let these luminary bodies like Chandra Suryarka Nakshatraha Kamdisho Bhurmahodarihi, let these luminary bodies and the nature be witness to what I say today on this shore of the Indian Ocean. Sakrityeva prapannaya tavasmiti chayachate abhayam sarvabhutebhyah dadam yetad vratam mama. Sakrityeva, even once. Sakrit in Sanskritam means once. If a devotee from whichever geography legitimately seeks something, either like how Draupadi sought a sari, Gajendra sought relief from the pain, like how Vibhishana sought moksham, with a name, if they surrender once, Sakrityeva prapannaya, telling to me, Tava asmi iti cha yachate, I am yours, O my Lord, please give me abhayam sarvabhutebhyah. Let that be an animal, let that be a person with no belief, let that be a person of transgender, whatever they are. Abhayam sarvabhutebhyah dadami etad vratam mama. This is my solemn vow. They don't have to convert. They don't have to come to Bharat Desham. Wherever they are, however they are born, whatever they are, what is their orientation, what is their gender, not my problem. If they openly say, I am yours, I will give them asylum. Look at the civilization. You come to me, I will change your name. Nothing. Abhayam sarvabhutebhyah dadam etad vratam mama. Now there was deafening silence. Now Sugriva said, see, I will tell you honestly, Rama, I knew from the bottomest of my heart Vibhishana was good. Samayaniki. I wanted to tell you this. I did not know how to tell you. I knew. I knew, Sugriva, I knew from you itself, your expressions itself, that you had a good opinion. Rama gives it back. We would have said, hey, poi sollada. Rama doesn't say, I knew you have such a magnanimous mind and heart. Sugriva, I know you very well. That I know is enough. Friends, Romans and countrymen, I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is oft interred with their bones, so let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus hath told me Caesar was ambitious, so let it be so. He says, right? Yep. Shakespeare from Stratford-on-Avon gets it from Rama. Because Rama's words are worth. He's a word's worth. Right? So here he says, Abhayam Sarvabhutebhyaha, then Vibhishana comes. While Vibhishana comes, he puts his hands together. That time, Vedanta Deshika remarks, Shri Valmiki Bhagavanale Drishtama Iruppadur Sharanagati Vedamam Idu. Valmiki doesn't give Ramayanam. Vedanta Deshika says this is a Sharanagati Vedam. Ramayanam's other name is Sharanagati Vedam. Like how Vedam has got Brahmanam, Aranyakam, Samhita, Upanishad, which is the last Bhagam, Upanishad Bhagam. Valmiki Bhagavanale Drishtama Iruppadur Sharanagati Vedam. அந்த வேதத்திலே விபீஷண சரணாகதி என்பது உபனிஷத் பாகமாம். In that Ramayanam, Vibhishana Sharanagati is Upanishad Bhagam. And what Rama has uttered, Sakrideva Prapannaya, is a Charamashloka mantram, Rama Charamashloka. Whoever thinks of it and adheres to it shall be a recipient of the reward what Vibhishana received. Kshitijaramanam chintaye Shriramam bhava karanam Kshitijaramanam chintaye Kshitipati natacharanam sevita Vibhishanam Kshiti Bharanam Shrita Chintamani Magha Haranam Kshiti Jaramanam Chintaye. Tomorrow we will be having Rama Pattabhishekam. I may not have the time tomorrow to do it, so I will be reciting Sri Raghuvira Gadyam now, because that's the essence of Srimad Ramayana as propounded by Vedanta Deshika. Those of you who have the lyrics now can recite with me. Srimad Venkata, it's the biggest tongue twister. I may make a few mistakes in the due course. You can also join. Srimad Venkatanatharya, it's the predecessor to Betty Potter. Much tougher. Srimad Venkatanatharya Kavitarkika Kesari Vedanta Charya Varyo Me Sannidhattam Sada Hrudi Jayatya Shrita Santrasa Dhvanta Vidvamsanodaya Prabhavan Sitaya Devya Paramavyoma Bhayaskara Jaya Jaya Mahadhira Mahadhira Dhaureya Deva Sura Samana Samaya Samudita Nikhila Nirjara Nirdharita Niravadika Mahatmya Dashavadana Damita Daivata Parishada Bhyartita Dasharati Bhavaddinakara Kula Kamala Divakara Online Lakarachuno Divishada Dipati Rana Saka Charana Chatura Dasharada Charamadruna Vimochana Kosara Sutta Kumara Bhava Kanchukita Karana Kara Kaumara Keli Gopaida Kaushikadvara Ranadvara Durya Bhavya Divyastra Brindavandita Pranata Jana Vimata Vimatana Dullalita Tanutara Vishika Vitadana Vigatita Vishararu Shararu Tataka Tatake ಜಡಕಿರಣ ಶಕಲಧರ ಜಟಿಲ ನರಪತಿ ಮಕುಟ ತಟ ನಟನ ಪಟು ವಿಬುಧ ಸರಿದತಿ ಅತಿ ಬಹುಳ ಮಧುಗಳನ ಲಲಿತ ವದನಳಿನ ರಜ ಉಪಮೃದಿತ ನಿಜ ವಿಜಯ ಜಹದು ಬಳ ತನು ರುಚಿರ ಪರಮ ಮುನಿವರ ಯುವತಿ ನುತ ಕುಶಿಕ ಸತ್ತ ಕಥಿತ ವಿದಿತ ನವ ವಿವಿಧ ಕಥ ಮೈಥಿಲ ನಗರ ಸುಲೋಚನ ಲೋಚನ ಚಕೋರ ಚಂದ್ರ ಖಂಡ ಪರಶುಕೋ ದಂಡ ಪ್ರಕಾಂಡನ ಖಂಡನ ಶೌಂಡಭುಜ ದಂಡ ಖಂಡ ಪರಶುಕೋ ದಂಡ ಪ್ರಕಾಂಡನ ಖಂಡನ ಶೌಂಡಭುಜ ದಂಡ ಚಂಡಕರ ಕಿರಣ ಮಂಡಲ ಬೋಧಿತ ಪುಂಡರೀಕ ವರರುಷುಂಡಾಗಲೋಚನ ಮೋಚಿತ ಜನಕ ಹೃದಯ ಶಂಕಾತಂಕ ಪರಿಹೃತ ನಿಖಿಲ ನರಪತಿ ವರಣ ಜನಗದುಹಿತು ಕುಚದಡ ವಿಹರಣ ಸಮುಚಿತ ಕರದಳ ಶತಕೋಟಿ ಶತಗುಣ ಕಠಿಣ ಪರಶುಧರ ಮುನಿವರ ಕರದತ ದುರಮನ ಮದ ಮಧ್ಯದರು ಆಕರ್ಷಣ ಪ್ರಕಾಶಿತ ಪಾರಮೇಷ್ಠ್ಯ ಕ್ರದುಹರ ಶಿಖರಿ ಕಂದುಗ ವಿಕೃತ್ಯುನ್ಮುಗ ಜಗದಿ ರುಂತು ದಲಿತ ಹರಿ ದಂತಿ ದಂತ ದಂತುರ ದಶಪದನ ತಮನ ಕುಶಲ ದಶಶತ ಭುಜ ಮುಖ ನೃಪತಿ ಕುಲ ರುದಿರ ಜರ ಭರಿತ ಪೃಥುತರ ತಟಾಕದ ಪಿತ ಪಿತೃಕ ಬಹುಪತಿ ಸುಗತಿ ವಿಹತಿ ಕರನತ ಬರುಡಿ ಶುಭರಿಕ ಅನುದವಯ ಮುಷಿತ ಹೃದಯ ಪಿತೃವಚನ ಪಾಲನ ಪ್ರತಿಜ್ಞಾ ಭಜ್ಞಾತ ಯೌವರಾಜ್ಯ ನಿಶಾರ ರಾರ ಸೌಹೃದ ಸೂಚಿತ ಸೌಶೀಲ್ಯ ಸಾಗರ ಭರದ್ವಾಜ ಶಾಸನ ಪರಿಗೃಹೀತ ವಿಚಿತ್ರ ಚಿತ್ರಕೂಟಗಿರಿ ಕಟಕ ತಟ ರಮ್ಯಾವಸದ ಅನನ್ಯ ಶಾಸನೀಯ ಪ್ರಣತ ಭರತ ಮಕುಟದ ಸುಗಡಿತ ಪಾದುಕಾಗ್ರ್ಯಾಭಿಷೇಕ ನಿರ್ವರ್ತಿತ ಸರ್ವಲೋಕ ಯೋಗಕ್ಷೇಮ ವಿಷಿತ ರುಚಿ ವಿಹಿತ ದುರಿತ ವಲಮಥನ ತನಯ ಬಲಿ ಭುಗನುಗತಿ ಸರಬಸ ಶಯನ ತೃಣ ಶಕಲ ಪರಿಪತನ ಭಯ ಚಗಿರ ಸಕಲ ಸುರ ಮುನಿವರ ಬಹುಮದ ಮಹಾಸ್ತ್ರ ಸಾಮರ್ಥ್ಯ ದ್ರುಹಿಣ ಹರ ಬಲಮಥನ ದುರಾಲಕ್ಷ್ಯ ಶರ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಯ ದಂಡಕ ತಪೋವನ ಜಂಗಮ ಪಾರಿಜಾತ ವಿರಾರ ಹರಿಣ ಶಾದೂಲ ವಿರುಣಿತ ಬಹುಬಲ ಮಖ ಕಲಮ ರಜನಿಚರ ಮೃಗ ಮೃಗ ಯಾರಂಭ ಸಂಭೃತ ಕ್ಷೀರ ಭೃತ ನುರೋಧ ತ್ರಿಶಿರ ಶಿರಸ್ತ್ರಿತಯ ತಿಮಿರ ನಿರಾಸ ವಾಸರ ಕರ ದೂಷಣ ಜಲನಿಧಿ ಶೋಷಣ ತೋಷಿತ ಋಷಿಗಣ ಘೋಷಿತ ವಿಜಯ ಘೋಷಣ ಕರತರ ಖರತರು ಖಂಡನ ಚಂಡ ಪವನ ವಿಸಪ್ತ ರಕ್ಷ ಸಹಸ್ರ ನಳವನ ವಿಲೋಲನ ಮಹಾಕಳಭ ಅಸಹಾಯ ಶೂರ ಅನಪಾಯ ಸಾಹಸ ಮಹಿತಮಾಮೃತ ದರ್ಶನ ಮುದಿತ ಮೈಥಿಲಿ ದೃಢತರ ಪರಿರಂಭಣ ವಿಭವ ವಿರೋಪಿತ ವಿಗಡ ವೀರ ವ್ರಣ ಮಾರೀಚ ಮಾಯಾ ಮೃಗ ಚರ್ಮ ಪರಿಕರ್ಮಿತ ನಿರ್ಭರ ದರ್ಭಾಸ್ತರಣ ವಿಕ್ರಮ ಯಶೋಲಾಭ ವಿಕ್ರೀತ ಜೀವಿತ ಗೃದ್ರ ರಾಜದೇಹದಿ ದಕ್ಷ ಲಕ್ಷಿತ ಭಕ್ತ ಜನದಾಕ್ಷಿಣ್ಯ ಕಲ್ಪಿತ ವಿಬುಧ ಭಾವಕ ಬಂಧ ವಿನಂದಿತ ಅವಂದ್ಯ ಮಹಿಮ ಮುನಿಜನ ಭಜನ ಮುಷಿತ ಹೃದಯ ಕಲುಷ ಶಬರೀ ಮೋಕ್ಷ ಸಾಕ್ಷಿಭೂತ ಪ್ರಭಂಜನ ತನಯ ಭಾವುಕ ಭಾಷಿತ ರಂಜಿತ ಹೃದಯ ತರಣಿಸುದ ಶರಣಾಗತಿ ವರತಂತ್ರಿ ಹೃದ ಸ್ವಾತಂತ್ರ್ಯ ದೃಢಗಡಿದ ಕೈಲಾಸ ಕೋಟಿ ವಿಗಡ ದುಂದುಭೀ ಕಂಕಾಳ ಕೂಟ ದೂರ ವಿಕ್ಷೇಪ ದಕ್ಷ ದಕ್ಷಿಣೇತರ ಪಾದಾಂಗುಷ್ಟ ದರ ಚಲನ ವಿಶ್ವಸ್ತ ಸುಹೃದಾಶಯ ಅತಿ ಪೃತುಲ ಬಹುಬಿಟ ಬಿಗಿರಿಧರಣಿ ವಿವರ ಯುಗ ಪದುದಯ ವಿಭೃತ ಚಿತ್ರಪುಂಖ ವೈಚಿತ್ರ್ಯ ವಿಪುಲ ಭುಜ ಶೈಲ ಮೂಲ ನಿಬಿಡ ನಿಬೀಡಿತ ರಾವಣ ರಣರಣಕ ಜನಕ ಚತುರುದೇ ವಿಹರಣ ಚತುರ ಕವಿ ಕುಲಪತಿ ಹೃದಯ ವಿಶಾಲ ಶಿಲಾತಲ ಧಾರಣ ದಾರುಣ ಶಿಲೀ ಮುಖ ಅಪಾರ ಪಾರಾವಾರ ಪರಿಖಾ ಪರಿವೃತ ಪರಪುರ ಪರಸೃತ ದವದಹನ ಜವನ ಪವನ ಭವ ಕಪಿವರ ಪರಿಶ್ವಂಗ ಭಾವಿತ ಸರ್ವಸ್ವದಾನ ಐದು ಸಹೋದರ ರಕ್ಷ ಪರಿಗ್ರಹ ವಿಸಂವಾದಿ ವಿವಿಧ ಸಚಿವ ವಿಸ್ತ್ರಂಭಣ ಸಮಯ ಸಂಭ್ರಂಭ ಸಮುಜೃಂಭಿತ ಸರ್ವೇಶ್ವರ ಭಾವ ಸಕೃತ್ ಪ್ರಪನ್ನ ಜನ ಸಂರಕ್ಷಣ ದೀಕ್ಷಿತ ವೀರ ಸತ್ಯವ್ರತ ಪ್ರತಿಶಯನ ಭೂಮಿಕಾ ಭೂಷಿತ ಪಯೋಧಿ ಪುಳಿನ ಪ್ರಳೇಶಿಗೆ ಪರುಷ ವಿಶಿಗ ಶಿಖಾ ಶೋಷಿತ ಕುಪಾರ ವಾರಿಪೂರ ಪ್ರಬಲ ರಿಪುಕಲ ಉದುಗ ಚಟುಲಗ ವಿಕುಲ ಕರತಲ ತೂರಿದ ವಿದೇಕರ ಸಾಧಿತ ಸೇತುಪದ ಸೀಮಾ ಸೀಮಂತಿತ ಸಮುದ್ರ ಧೃತ ಗತಿದರು ಮೃಗ ಬರೂತಿನಿ ನಿರುದ್ಧ ಲಂಕಾವರೋಧ ವೇಪತುಲಾಸ್ಯ ಲೀಲೋಪದೇಶ ದೇಶಿಗ ಧನುರ್ಜ ಘೋಷ ಗಗನಚರ ಕನಕಗಿರಿ ಗರಿಮಧರ ನಿಗಮವಯ ನಿಜ ಗರುಡ ಗರುಡ ನಿಲಲ ಬಗಳಿತ ವಿಷವದನ ಶರಕದನ್ನ ಗಗನಚರ ಕನಕಗಿರಿ ಗರಿಮಧರ ನಿಗಮಮಯ ನಿಜ ಗರುಡ ಗರುಡ ನಿಲಲ ಬಗಳಿತ ವಿಷವದನ ಶರಕದನ ಅಗ್ರಜ ಚರವನ ಚರಣ ರಣಕರಣ ವೈಲಕ್ಷ ಕೂಣಿತಾಕ್ಷ ಬಹುವಿಧ ರಕ್ಷೋಬಲ ದ್ಯಕ್ಷ ವಾಕ್ಷ ಕವಾಟನ ಪಾಟನ ಪಟಿಮ ಸಾಟೋಪ ಕೋಪಾವಲೇಪ ಕಟುರಟ ದಂಕೃತಿ ಚಟುಲ ಕಠೋರ ಕಾರ್ಮುಕ ವಿನಿರ್ಗತ ವಿಶಂಗಡ ವಿಶಿಗ ವಿತಾಡನ ವಿಗಡಿತ ಮಗುಡ ವಿಕ್ವಲ ವಿಶ್ರವಸ್ತನಯ ವಿಶ್ರಮ ಸಮಯ ವಿಶ್ರಾಣನ ವಿಖ್ಯಾತ ವಿಕ್ರಮ ಕುಂಭಕರ್ಣ ಕುಲಗಿರಿ ವಿದಳನ ದಂಭೋಳಿ ಭೂತ ನಿಶಂಕ ಗಂಕ ಪತ್ರ ಅಭಿಚರಣ ಉದವಹ ಪರಿಚರಣ ವಿಕಟನ ಸರವಸ ಪರಿಪದಿದ ಪರಿಮಿತ ಕವಿಬಲ ಜಲದಿ ಲಹರಿ ಕಲ ಕಲ ರವ ಕುಪಿತ ಮಗವರಿಹನನ ಕೃತನುಜ ಸಾಕ್ಷಿ ಗರಾಕ್ಷ ಸದ್ವಂದ್ವ ಯುದ್ಧ ಅಪ್ರತಿದ್ವಂದ್ವ ಪೌರುಷ ತ್ರಯಂಬಕ ಸಮಧಿಕ ಘೋರಾಸ್ತ್ರ್ಯಾಡಂಬರ ಸಾರಥಿ ಹೃದರಥ ಸತ್ರವ ಶಾತ್ರವ ಸತ್ಯಾವಿಧ ಪ್ರತಾಪ ಶಿತಶರ ಕೃತಲವನ ದಶಮುಖ ಮುಖ ದಶಕ ನಿಪತನ ಪುನರುದಯ ದರಗಳಿದ ಜನಿತ ದರದಳ ಹರಿಹಯ ನಯನ ನಳಿನವ नवन रुचिक चित तल निपतित सुरतरु कुसुम विदधि सुर विदरत पद अखिल जगदिक भुज भर बल बल दशबल लपन लपन दशक लवन जनित कदन पर बशर जनित युवति विलपन वचन समय विषय निगम शिखर निकर मुकर मुख मुनिवरि परपणित अभिगत शतमग हुदवह विधिप निरुति वरुण पवन घनद गिरीश मुख सुरपति नुति मुदित अमितमति विदित विदित कथित निजव विभव जरदि पृषत लव विगत भय विबुध परिभृड विबोधित वीर शयन शायित वानर पृत नौग स्व समय विघटित सुघटित सहृदय सर्म सह धर्मचारिणीक विभीषण वशं वदीकृत लंकैश्वर्य निष्पन्न कृत्य कपुष्पित रिपुपक्ष पुष्पकरवसि गति गोष्पदी कृत गगनार्णव प्रतिज्ञार्णवत्तरण कृत क्षत भरत मनोरथ संहित सिंहासनाधिरूढ़ स्वामिन् राघव सिंह हाटगिरि कटकलडः पादपीठ निकट तर तट परिलुटित निखिल नृपति किरीट कोटि विविध मणिगण किरण निकर नीराजित चरण राजीव दिव्य भौमायोध्यादिदैवत पितृवद कुपित परशुधर मुनि विहित नृप हनन कदन पूर्वकाल प्रभव शतगुण प्रतिष्ठापित धार्मिक राजवंश शुभ चरित रथ भरत कर्पित गर्भ गंधर्व यूत गीत विजय गाथा शत शासित मधुसुद शत्रुघ्न सेवित कुशलव परिगृहीत कुल गाथा विशेष विधिवश परिणमदमर भणिधि कविवर रचित निज चरित निबंधन निशमन निर्वृत सर्वजन सम्मानित पुनरुपस्थापित विमानवर विश्राणन प्रीणित वैश्रवण विश्रावित यश प्रपंच पंचतावन्न मुनि कुमार संजीवनामृत त्रेतायुग प्रवर्तित कार्तयुग वृत्तांत अविकल बहु सुवर्ण हयमक सहस्र निर्वहन निर्वर्तित निज वर्णाश्रम धर्म सर्वकर्म समाराध्य सनातन धर्म साकेत जनपद जनिगत निग जंगम तदितर जंतु जात दिव्य गतिदान दर्शित नित्य निस्सीम वैभव भवतपनतापित भक्त जन भद्रा रामा श्रीराम भद्रा नमस्ते पुनस्ते नमः चतुर्मुखेश्वर मुखैः पुत्र पौत्रादिशालिने नमः सीता समेताय रामाय गृहमेधिने कवि कथक सिंह कथितं कठोर सुकुमार गुंभ गंभीरं भव भय भेषजमेतत् पठत महावीर वैभवं सुधियः कवितात्मक सिंहाय कल्याण गुणशालिने श्रीमते वेंकटेशाय वेदांत गुरवे नमः. So this is Swami Vedanta Deshika's beautiful work titled Raghuvira Gadyam or Mahavira Vaibhavam, which is the quintessence of Ramayanam in Sanskritam in the toughest formats. There are about 150 bha, 121 tha. You should not have one person closer to you while you're reciting this. Amruta Kashini Amruta Kashini Haraji Pujite Shive Bhavani. They will get unseasonal monsoon. It is one of the toughest works in Sanskritam. With Vedanta Deshika does it like a hero with ease. So this is the entire Ramayanam. Tomorrow is the last day. So there are two announcements. Of course, Srimati Raji Ramesh will be making announcements for tomorrow. There is, I'm sure all of you know that there is a grand Parayanam which is happening every day, 6.5 hours. The priest who was supposed to come from Bharatadesham couldn't come because of some of the wonderful rules, so he couldn't. So he's in Bharatadesham and reciting 6.5 hours every day. So tomorrow morning there will be Pattabhisheka. The timings will be told by Srimati Raji Ramesh. So morning we'll be having the last 10 sargas roughly Parayanam of Pattabhishekam, 24,000 shlokas. Of course, Uttarakandam may not be recited in certain scenarios, but there is no harm in reciting Uttarakandam. It is a part of Ramayana. But Pattabhisheka Sargam will come tomorrow. Then there is a grand event happening at the temple. All those details will come. After that, I'll come to my place. 3 to 5 p.m. we'll be having the last discourse of the 9-day series, Navaham series, which is Rama Pattabhishekam. Tomorrow there will be Aditya Hridayam. You can carry Aditya Hridayam with you. You know what is tomorrow? Sunday, which is Surya Day. Ravivaram, we will have the opportunity to read Aditya Hridayam, Sarva Shatru Vinashanam. All our internal Shatrus will go away. Externally, we don't have any Shatrus. We are all good people. Right? So, tomorrow we will have that. We will have Sanjeevani Parvata Drishyam. Then we will have Setu Bandhanam. And then finally Rama Pattabhishekam. So, tomorrow it is between 3 to 5. I'm sure, the temple people were very happy. So am I to see a lot of people in the age group of like say 15 to 35. Many youngsters are coming. This is what Srimad Ramayana needs and has in it to attract people. I'm sure Mangalyam Tandunani. He's come here, right?
Yes. Today.
So, after this, many people are planning to go to that. It is good. So, let us have all the, from the Pachai Nirame to Megham Tirandu Kundu, we will have all of that. Okay, so tomorrow you should be back to Ramam Ratnamaye Pithe. So, Mustafa from that, you have to come back to Ramam Ratnamaye Pithe tomorrow evening. The temple is doing a wonderful activity such as this Rama Pattabhishekam. I'm sure the temple has many volunteers and many well-wishers. Of course, your presence adds so much of value to the entire event, but the temple has forms and procedure for you to be a part of this Rama Pattabhishekam ceremony. So your names will be told in the Sankalpam tomorrow during the Mahayajnam. So please be a part of this ceremony, because when Setu was constructed, it was just not Rama who headed it. He needed all the Bhagavatas to get over to build that Setu. So if there has to be a bridge for events such as this, which is being held in such a well-known, respected temple such as Sri Shiva Vishnu temple, all Bhagavatas have to participate yathashakti. So you have to be a part of this journey. Please do inquire with the temple how best you can be a part of this journey. That is one. Tomorrow 3 to 5 p.m. there is the last day Upanyasam. I'm sure so many of you are coming. There is a lot of space on the stage to sit. And some of you can actually sit on the ground. Feel free to sit here. Bring more people. Bring people whom you feel they will be potential listeners in the future. They may have not listened. Just bring them here. Tell them you'll buy some good things in the cafeteria. Promise them. Okay? And then bring them here. For everyone should bring one. Somehow you manage. Yeah? Come here. Come and sit. So this is the sojourn in Sanatana Dharma that we have to take. And of course, in the VCD Pati. So recently there were thunderstorms. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Many areas lost electricity. That time this will come. You don't have to be a Japanese to sport this and say sayonara. Right? You can still hold the fan, because in Ramayana Pathanam, Rama is the most simplest of all. I'll tell you how. So, he was an aristocrat, born to the richest of the rich kings. But he was such a simpleton. On his birthday, we make the easiest of all, which is buttermilk and jaggery water. Nothing, you don't need to know the nuances of cooking. Your children can make it. Buttermilk and gudka pani, panakam. And then, of course, if you want to get one step into cooking, maybe there's something called kosmari. That's also not cooked food. Simple salad, right? Then besides that, he was born in the Masam of Chitra, which is a very hot month. So, it is a belief that you will have to give the Bhagavatas a fan as a mark of that respect, so that they can get some air for themselves. So, this is going to be gifted to all the Bhagavatas tomorrow who are part of this Mahayajnam. One, and of course, see, Krishna was born in a cell, in a jail. In a week from now, he will ask for 32 different kinds of bhakshana. This Rama is such a simple man. He was born in a palace, he asks for buttermilk. Krishna, born in the jail, asks for every other sweet and bhakshana. So see how simple Rama is. Now you may be wondering, why are you talking about Krishna like this? Next time when I talk about Bhagavatam, then let's see where Rama stands.